How does Phil Heath compare with today's competitors? Let's find out in this Superset Man inspired comparison. Phil Heath from the 2013 Mr. Olympia event put right in the center of today's lineup. The 2025 top four, the first call out. So I guess in a sense this is your top five at the Olympia. Would Phil Heath reign supreme like he did years ago? I am sure, like me, you guys are all thinking, this isn't even fair. Phil Heath is going to destroy these other guys. Well, to you, I suggest you give today's competitors a chance. Not only that, but we have to realize the judging criteria. It has to be different now. The midsections back in the day, a lot of them had what Louis Marco called a triple, treble, double, quadruple bubble gut, things of that nature, so nobody really noticed. And you can see all of the other competitors, aside from Phil, all with a tremendous midsection. Vacuums all over the place. Andrew jacked. I mean, look at his abs. Unreal. Physique-wise, you gotta admit, Phil Heath probably last in line. His torso may be the worst part about his physique. It's a shorter torso and a narrow one at that. But look at the arms, folks. I urge you to look at the wheels as well. Phil Heath, not the biggest competitor here, but he surely has the biggest, best set of guns. Look at those arms. I mean, if you're a traditionalist bodybuilding fan, you gotta give points to the guy with the best arms. There used to be a title, best legs as well, and Phil would be winning both of those categories, hands down. But it is a physique type contest at the end of the day, right? Let's go to the front lat spread, and where are my manners? Didn't even introduce the other bodybuilders. Samson Dauda, of course. Derek Lunsford, the winner of this. Samson got fourth here. Derek won, like I said, and then Hadi Choopan got second. And is that Andrew jacked? That's a blurry picture. You see, I edited clearer pictures onto this so you guys could actually see a fair comparison, but there was no close-up shot of Andrew jacked in the front lat spread. So for those of you who have the big screen TVs, maybe the more well-off people, and God bless yous, you can see that Andrew jacked, his picture sucks. It's blurry, can't see detail. But I'm telling you right now, I'd be willing to bet Andrew jacked would probably win this front lat spread. Hadi Choopan's pretty good. Phil Heath, again, the condition. He's got that three-dimensional muscle. Samson Dauda, he really did not look 100%. Nowhere near the condition that he had last year. So, you could really put Phil either first or last. And that goes with the front double bicep too, for those of you focused solely on the midsection. So I don't think this is the brutal beating a lot of you guys and gals thought this was going to be, until you turn to the side, and then it is Phil Heath domination. We are talking, nobody's even close. You can see Andrew jacked, spread over a very long base. He is dominating everybody in size, even Samson. But they all look like mere Tinkerbells compared to this big, thick stud. Narrow, yes. But from the side, he exhibits cannonballs for delts, pipes for arms. Couldn't think of anything else. And those forearms. I mean, you don't usually notice the forearms. But look, it is a man and a man's forearms. Great big man's chest too, bigger than Samson's. Wow. Everybody else's pecs look deflated, weak, and soft in comparison. And oh my goodness, I just now noticed the wheels. Look at the size. He's sitting down on a hamstring. These other Tinkerbells. I hate to get rude, but once I get going looking at these wheels, we better go to the next pose. Nothing really we can learn from that. And all the while, I have, looked at the other guys, decided who's winning, and I'll tell you, I'll list off where I actually had all the rest of them placing at the Olympia. I'm sure Phil will be in the mix, if you know what I'm saying. Now, when you look at Andrew Jacked, come on. My editor tried to trick us here. This is from the Arnold. And Andrew Jack, dare I say, he was on. Wow, was he good at that Arnold Classic. But having said that, it was another situation where we didn't get a close-up shot of him, and it was just a blurry picture. Kind of sucked. Everybody else sucks here compared to Phil. Look at the arm. Now, he's not even opened up. He doesn't have to. That's probably what he would say. I don't even have to open up. These other boys don't have any arms compared to Phil. And I'm trying not to be rude. It is. I was going to say I'm not being rude, but I am. That's terrible. Simple fact is, Samson, there was a lot of hype around this guy. He was the Olympia champion. He didn't deliver. Not what he did last year. But I mean, the guy doesn't nail it every time. And Derek Lunsford, he did not nail it either, in my opinion. Sure, he won. Hadi was a little off. Andrew Jacked. I mean, here at the Arnold, he was not even 110%. I'm sure people would argue that because the guy got third. But it doesn't matter. In this lineup, Phil Heath is dominating. What about the back? A definite strong point for both Derek and Hadi. In terms of Samson, he definitely didn't nail the condition from behind, and his left lat was all strange. It wasn't opening up. Little kink, I believe. And in terms of Andrew Jacked, this again, I apologize, folks. This is another blurry picture. That's why you can see the other guys. You can see the detail of them. We do have a clearer shot of the back double by, so we'll be able to make out the type of condition that Andrew Jacked brought. And I don't think, honestly, that it could touch the other guys' back width. He's awesome. He's wider than Hadi Choopan, maybe. But in terms of Hadi Choopan and Derek Lunsford, are any of them touching Phil Heath? Condition-wise, I would have to say no. I think Phil Heath is on an extra crispy level of condition. And Derek maybe seen that. One year there, he was pretty peeled a couple of different times. But this version here, I don't know. And the back muscle itself, they're both wider than Phil. But he's no stranger to that. He's dealt with that before. It's all about the three-dimensional thickness, the big fingers in the back. I mean, wow. Very impressive back lat spread, even though it's not that wide. Kudos to Andrew Jacked for improving on his back development, defeating Samson, I might add. And then we get to the rear double. Interesting. And I could almost be willing to bet that some of you folks at home are thinking exactly what I was just thinking at this point in time. Phil Heath is supposed to have the best back double, well, maybe the second best back double of all time, and he really doesn't stick out here like a Godzilla type monster. It's all about retrospect, I guess. I'm flipping through that thesaurus again. You can see Derek Lunsford, okay? This guy would have top 10 best back double by in bodybuilding history. Okay? And Hadi Choopan, his back double, it's the least devastating of his two back shots, but still, the guy would be up there. You can see Andrew Jacked and even Samson Dauda, they just don't have it size-wise or condition, I don't think. Andrew Jacked opened up a little bit nicer other instances, but these close-up shots, he kind of crouching his delts back, or too close together, or what have you. I got into a little verbal accident there. But either way, Phil Heath dominating in the lower half, there can be no question. And it would have been the same if Nick Walker had been in these lineups. Lower half, I don't think there's any question. He would have been defeating. He had a Phil Heath-esque lower half. So when you look at that incredible back development of Phil, again, not the widest, but definitely the most detailed, probably the most conditioned too. So Phil, I think it's a safe bet. I think he's taking home an eighth Sandow. Did he win 7? Yeah, he won 7. He's about to take home his 8th. Here's the abs and thigh. Whoa, whoa. Hold the bus here, folks. A couple of last places for Phil. They could really hurt his average, and he might not even win. And you know how serious I am about this on my channel. The ramifications could tarnish Phil's career. I'm just teasing, is all. Just a little bit of a prank there. But all seriousness, sure, Phil Heath known for not the best midsection of all time. I am looking at a bunch of flappy pancakes, the little ones all taped together. And that's what I see for the midsection of Derek Lunsford. I'm not even going to say with all due respect, because you can't really follow something like that up with saying that. And he was stepping the line. Big time. That's what he does. He's crouching way down. If he was where he should be, he'd be way shorter because he sticks his pelvic back. That makes a more of a V-taper. Not that he doesn't have a great V-taper, but the fact that the guy is cheating, stepping the line, and they don't tell him. Andrew Jack even looks at the line. Get back in the box, Andrew. And then Derek. Sorry, I just got to get that off my chest there. Where was I? Oh, yes. And Samson Dauda, also, he's got a couple of taped pancakes to there in his midsection as well. At least Phil has some tight condition. Not the best torso, so you're not going to see the best V-taper. Good quads. Hadi Choopan, Andrew Jack. You're not going to beat those two buckaroos. Not in this shot. So Phil, still, I think would defeat... What do you call her there? No, I'm not even going to call him that. Brother Derek. We'll call him Brother Derek. I think he's defeating Brother Derek and Samson Dauda. So, a third prize. It's not going to plummet his average down too far. And the most muscular. You see, the thing about Phil, and not too many bodybuilders can boast this. Actually, a lot of them brag that they do, but not too many of them actually have. 3-dimensional muscle, just round basketballs all over him. Look at that. Well, I think the delts would be like soccer ball size. Either way, whatever ball you choose. I don't think any of these fellers are playing snooker, if you get my drift. Andrew Jack, what can you say? I liked the transformation that he was doing as he was hitting this pose. It looked good. But in terms of just a freeze frame, he's probably going to get last in line. Derek, not the best either. Of course, you look at Samson. He looks a little flat. The midsection. You see, the thing about great big guys like that, and Big Rammy dealt with that too, when you're off, it's noticeable because you're so huge. When you're on, they see you because you're all over the place. But when you're not tight and conditioned, I mean, look at Andrew Jack. Is he really getting last in line because of the arms? Lack of size in the wheels? Those abs are very convincing. So let's add up these scores, so to speak. And there you have it. Phil Heath lands in first place. No surprise there. Hadi Choopan in second. A strong second. Third place goes to Derek Lunsford. And fourth to Andrew Jack. And fifth for Samson Dauda. Not the best Samson whatsoever. Now, worth to mention, I did give that most muscular to Derek Lunsford over Andrew Jack. And with that one simple point, Derek Lunsford is ahead of Andrew Jack. They were that close, in my opinion. Remember, guys, I'm not a judge. I'm not a doctor. I wasn't there either. That's a big to-do. Back condition, all that. I mean, Derek probably would have got an edge over over both Samson and Andrew Jacked. But Samson, yeah, he was off altogether. But I definitely would suggest Hadi Choopan, perhaps, robbed from another Olympia. He definitely would have a record in that. He has a record of people's titles. So what does that tell you? But Phil Heath absolutely smoked these guys. He cleaned house. He is the doctor. Phil Heath domination stands for PhD. Have a great one, folks.